Hello, dear paper lover. Today I'm going to show you how I will set up my planner for 2026. This is the planner that I'm going to use to manage my shop. I have added a few things from the shop to put this planner together. So first, there are these 3 pages that are part of the Set in Stone vellum bundle. I always like to add vellum to my planner because it sets the tone and it gives it a lot of character and style. So this is the pattern that I've created for the kit. These are the stone textured backgrounds, and this is just a replica of the Set in Stone mood board with all the vases. I'll be using these. And also, I am gonna add this mood board that has a calendar at the back. That is the Set in Stone mood board printed in A5. And I'm gonna use this as my planner cover. That is for sure. And then finally from the shop, I'm gonna add a few inserts. And these are gonna be added as a digital product next week. Or by the end of this week, because I'm going to post on Monday, so it's going to be the same week at the end of the week, and you can get them too. And finally, something that is not on my shop yet, and it's the planner case holder, and this is from, I don't know if you can read it, it's an European shop called My Roadmap. They're becoming quite popular, and this is what it looks like. I took the A5 in black. It has one pocket here, one pocket here, a sleeve here, and this is where I'm gonna insert my pages. And all in here I'm gonna put like pads, cards, and paper clips. So, first thing first, let's put everything together. First thing I do is pick up my rings, and for this planner I'm gonna go with these metallic rings because we do not do plastic, or at least we try not to in my shop. And let's see if this matches the cover. Yeah, looks pretty good. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is punch this dashboard. Okay. It's gonna look like this, and then I'm gonna punch the vellum as well. This is the back cover, which is a textured cardstock. I don't think you'll manage to see the texture on the screen, but so that you can hear the thickness of it. Okay, then I'm gonna add these inserts. These are monthly inserts, and I'll show you what they look like when I'll do the flip through. When I set up my planner, I like to set up for the next couple of months, so that when I tackle the next month, everything is already preset. And then just to separate the months, I'm gonna add some vellum, and I'll know this is the beginning of a new month. Okay. It's looking like this. Let's add some vellum here. This is what I like about vellum, is that it can work as a decorative element, but it can also work as a divider without adding the heavy plastic thingy that is just horrendous for me. Okay. Yep. So this is what my planner looks like. At a first glance. So here's what my planner looks like. This is a cover page that you've seen, comes with a calendar. Always very good to have that at hand. And then there's this page that I like to add each year. I think the only year I did not add a note to myself inside my planner was for 2025, and yeah, the year didn't go so well. So I'm adding it again for 2026. I have actually two planners. I had two planners for 2025, and I'm gonna set 3 planners for 2026. The reason being that the themes of those 3 planners are so different, and the things that I tackle inside so completely different that they need to be put inside a different container. So I'm gonna have a planner for my business, which is this one. I'm gonna have a plan for my health. So getting back to this planner, the note to self is my first page, is something that I want to remember a year from now. This will set the mood of this planner. I will write about how I feel at this moment, of what are my aspirations for 2026 for this shop, for this small business, what I've missed the mark on 2025, why, and how I could have done better things. And at the end of 2026, I'll come back to this note to myself and read it back and see if I have applied what I've learned from 2025. This is a very, very good exercise to do. Then we are finally getting our hands dirty. The master plan. The master plan is what I want for my shop for 2026. In terms of sales goals, in terms of partnership, development of products, content creation, packaging, rebranding, and things like that. That is why I call it the master plan. So here I'm going to lay down everything that I want for 2026 for the shop. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to tackle all of it, but it's going to be the beginning of the roadmap. Then on the second page, and this is why I like to have these 2 pages side by side, I'm going to do my vision board for 2026. That is going to be a reflection of the master plan. And from those 2 pages, like I mentioned, I'm going to list the new products that I want for the shop. Each year I list like more than 5 new products, and I manage to launch 2 or 3. But the ideas always stay. So I'm going to list all these ideas, translate them into new projects, and see how I can work on making this possible. And then this is my monthly work and my monthly goals. So as you know, I have a stationery subscription for the shop, and it's on a monthly base. So what I like to do before the year starts is to lay out for each month what I'm going to do as a team, because then I can work on my seasonal launches, which are the products that I want to launch inside the shop. And this allows me to create space and time to manage this and this, because sometimes they overlap. And if I haven't given myself enough time to finish the boxes or to finish the seasonal launches, my life can become hell very quickly. So these are very important for me. And when I choose the themes, I know which ones I'm going to work more on. And I'm going to look at my seasonal launches to make sure that I'm not working on a huge launch at the same time that I'm working on a box that is going to demand much more time, much more engagement. So the reverse schedule, I don't know if this is the correct term in English, but in French it's called rétro-planning. This is going to be a map of what I need to do to launch in the appropriate months and to send my boxes out on time. So this is a schedule where I work backwards in order to achieve these deadlines. And it's very, very, very nice to have this. I think that ever since I've put this in place inside my planner, I've been able to manage and to tackle the amount of work that the monthly boxes require, as well as the seasonal launches. Because then I'm not waiting for February to work on spring. I'm going to start working on spring around November or December, launch my orders with my suppliers in January, go back and forth with them if things are wrong during end of January, beginning of February, and by the end of February I can start working on the communication on my spring launch. But all of this is scheduled inside these little squares. And then we get to a page. Let's talk about blank pages. I like to leave blank pages inside my planner because these pages are where I like to add some art. I like to do collages. I like to write a few notes. Sometimes I like to add a mood board. Or if I get really inspired by a flyer that was given to me or something like that, I like to stick it in my planner as a reminder that this kind of artwork speaks to me and is really inspiring. So this is going to be my page for January, and I'm going to have to wait for the January box that is going to be available in 2 weeks so that I can add here all the elements of January. Probably a mood board and some stickers. Now, the monthly goals. The monthly goals are what I'm going to have to work on to manage my yearly planning. So I'm going to have to work, because we are now, end of November. This is where I start working on my spring collection. And at the same time, I am managing the huge load of orders from the Black Friday days and the Christmas sales. And at the same time, I'm working on the January box. My to-do list is gonna be drawn from the monthly goals. And from there on, I can start scheduling my weekly planning. I don't think I can manage more than 3 or 4 weekly priorities, because then it's hell. So I list my priorities of the week here, deadlines that are coming and things like that. For instance, this week the priorities are going to be Christmas sales, Black Friday orders, and the January box. That's it. I'm going to have an hour or 2 here and there. It's going to be for the spring collection. But the priorities are going to be orders and the January box. And this is how the layout looks like. This is a half-dated planner and I like it like that. Expenses. As my shop has been growing, I've noticed that my expenses have been getting out of hand when I order for rush deliveries on Amazon and things like that, because I haven't been managing stock properly. And so I've decided like 3 or 4 months ago to have this expense tracker and see where the money is going, where I could have done better, like in stock management or ordering raw materials and things like that. And finally, I always like to have at the end of the month a brain dump on things that I've thought about that I could do either this month or next month or for a next collection. Sometimes I'm working on stuff and I see a story about something totally different, but then it gives me an idea and things like that. And this is where I like to drop it. This is also a page that I've added for 2025. It's the gratitude page. It's very easy to go from month to month and complain about the month that didn't go well or the things that went wrong and how much work you've had to tackle. But the shop's been doing quite well, and I think that I've been overlooking the fact that I'm surviving this tariff war without losing my shop when I see over and over stories of people closing shops because they lost all of their clients or that they're just overworked. I think I should be more grateful that things are working more or less well for me, that I'm not making too many mistakes, that I'm putting, and so having this page kind of gives me a kick in the butt to sit down and say what I am grateful for, what went well, what I should replicate in the next month. And this is what this is about. Count your blessings. Yes, count your blessings. Then the monthly assessment. The monthly assessment is something more specific and more number oriented. I want to know how many goals I've set up for the month and how many goals I've reached, how many goals I have not reached and why, how many tasks I have open that I need to finish, and basically things that I should not do ever again. Like there are things that I've done in the shop and another blank page for some artwork. And then there's the vellum that announces the beginning of another month. So this is how this planner is going to work. Now it's time to put everything together inside this planner's cover. I am using my Set in Stone stationery kit. That is the one that I'm going to use throughout the year to decorate this planner and to use in planning pages. This kit fits perfectly because it's muted and highlighted with lots of gold here and there. So it's going to be perfect for intentional and important planning.